Welcome everybody back to another episode of The Great Perspective, where we talk politics, we mainly sports, talk sports, politics, family, everything in between. This week it's a lot of playoffs happening over the weekend, so we're gonna get into it. Remember to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, support the channel, as I said, and as we grow. Um, we get the channel. We'll do things to improve the channel, and as we grow, we hope you grow with us. We'll go ahead and start with that Seattle San Fran game that happened. What was your thoughts on that game?
Um, Seattle and San Fran, the way Seattle dominated them, I looked for them. I didn't have a Super Bowl favorite, but now after seeing what I've seen and knowing that the path to the Super Bowl is through Seattle, so you got to come to Seattle to get to the Super Bowl. The way that defense playing, I mean, it was times in that game where San Francisco couldn't even get past the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
That's unheard of in the NFL, and that's how they was playing.
Mm-hmm.
And on the defense of San Fran, half of their team was missing.
Yeah, a lot of the big players like Fred Warner, Bosa, they're missing some key players. Uh,
Yeah,
but I Seattle just looked dominant, man. I picked. That's who I got going to the Super Bowl. Seattle. My other team going to the Super Bowl is New England. Um, but Seattle, I picked them to win it all. I don't see nobody beating them.
and then when you look at the other games, like the other NFC game, which was Chicago and the Rams, that went to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them got holes in their defense,
Mm-hmm.
and you playing going to Seattle. I don't believe either one of them have a legitimate shot
Mm-hmm.
because they won't. Even if they somehow score 6 points, their defense can't stop Seattle's offense.
Mm-hmm.
And on the AFC side,
I don't see Rams.
Denver, huh?
I don't see the Rams beating Seattle because Chicago could have won that game.
Yeah,
Problem with Chicago and
it was the
Chicago,
last possession.
yeah, and Chicago on the. I mean, they got a good team and they got something to build on for next year, but I don't see them. They can't beat Seattle in a. So if I look, I mean, I don't see anybody in Seattle's coming out of the NFC.
And when
Seattle,
you look at it on the AFC side, um,
New England, and Houston.
Houston made a bunch of mistakes, but still was in that game. After all those turnovers, they still was in the game.
Mm-hmm.
New England, Seattle ain't gonna make those turnovers in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then when you look at the other team, which is Denver, who luckily won off a last minute field goal and beat Buffalo. Buffalo and Seattle would have been a better Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But Denver, especially after they lost their quarterback to an injury from that game, it's a cakewalk for Seattle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, New England to give them a little trouble. No, yeah. New England will give them a little trouble. Denver, you don't have to worry about them because Bo Nix, he got a season-ending injury, his ankle surgery, and he actually had it today. Because when the press conference came out, they said Tuesday. So no, so that was yesterday. So he actually had the surgery yesterday, um, and he's done. So they going with the backup in the AFC Championship game. So that's you just gave the game to New England. Unless every now and then you get like a Nick
Nick
Foles,
Foles.
but no, like who is the backup for Denver?
I
Nobody.
put his name. He been in the league a couple of years. He was drafted by New England, but
Traded to Denver.
yeah.
Mm.
But like I say, I hope if New England win, it'll be a better Super Bowl than if Denver won.
Oh man, that'll be.
Because they'll just blitz and knock that court, you know what I mean? But if New England won, it'll New England's still gonna lose, but it'll be a better game to watch.
Yeah, that'd be horrible, man. If Denver pulled it out and went to the Super Bowl, that'd be uh, that'd be the lowest. That'd be one of the lowest rating Super Bowls in modern. Nobody would want to see that. The NFL know that they ain't gonna let that happen. I know people don't believe. I ain't gonna get into no conspiracies or all that. Some of the games are rigged, but the NFL ain't gonna allow that to happen because they know they're not gonna allow that to happen. But things have happened. Remember, Nick Foles won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he ain't the only one. You remember for those old heads out there, you remember when the first black quarterback won the Super Bowl is when Washington quarterback got hurt and he came in and won it for Washington back in 1989.
Doug Williams.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a backup can do it,
Mm-hmm.
but this backup isn't seasoned enough.
Yeah.
He's
Doug Williams.
almost like a rookie. Even
Yeah.
though he's been in the league, he ain't been playing.
Yeah. He's 1-3. I think I seen one report. He got
Yeah.
a start of 1-3. He's not. No, that'll be horrible. Um, Now, if Houston would have won and Houston
Yep.
played,
They got the defense to
oh
match up.
man, that would have been a good Super Bowl. C.J. Stroud and Donald
Yeah.
battle that would have been a good. Or if Josh Allen could have won, got
Yeah,
a
Josh Allen, because even though they got a defense, Josh Allen gonna score on anybody
yeah. Now that would have been a good game, even though Buffalo lost to Denver.
by a field goal.
Yeah,
After Josh Allen just scored a touchdown to tie it up.
yeah,
The
your defense.
defense gave,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Defense got to help. You score, and then
leave 10 seconds on the clock. You sit down, the defense let them go get in field goal range.
that's what happened to Carolina. You know what I'm saying? They scored. I just knew the game was over. I
You
said,
let
man,
them get in field goal range.
but they was up by 4, so they had to score a touchdown. So I knew. I said, oh, we got it. This game over. We going. Man, defense gave. The defense didn't help them, and so it was just, oh man, that was horrible.
But if Houston made it to the Super Bowl, they got a defense that can make it a better game because they got the number 2 defense. Seattle got the number 1.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been a better game.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Uh, I'm happy for Donald,
Mm-hmm.
but, but that go to show you what these commentators were speaking upon. A franchise can destroy a quarterback.
Yeah, the system.
The
Yeah.
system, because Donald done been to Carolina, the Jets drafted him, and everybody written him off. He went to Minnesota and showed you what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle got rid of Geno, got him. Now next year, they going whether they win the Super Bowl or not, Donald got a big contract coming his way.
Yeah.
One of them mega,
Team
one of them.
together. Because I like to see competition like that, and hopefully they keep the team together. Because I hate it when these teams you know they have a good season and then end of the season people just start separating, going different ways, and break up the team. I just hate that.
And then you know me, I'm a Cowboy fan, and DeMarcus Lawrence talking about he couldn't win with the Cowboys, but he at home.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be happy to see him get a ring though,
Yeah, yeah,
because it wasn't like he left Dallas on his terms. Jerry didn't want to pay him,
yeah. They
so it
overpaid
wasn't like he
some.
wanted out.
I know some you see some shows, uh, like Nightcap, and they always say pay them, ESPN, all these other shows. They say pay them, pay the players, but come on, man. You overpay for Dak. You can't give a quarterback $60 million a year, and then you got all these other players that you got to pay. Now you got to go get second tier players. You get what I'm saying?
Or players that's out of their prime.
That's out of their prime, so you can get them, hoping they can give you 2 or 3 good games in a 16 game season. You get what I'm saying? It don't even make sense why they do that. But
Just imagine if we would have had DeMarcus Lawrence this year on the other side of Clowney.
it'd have been ridiculous.
You see what I'm saying?
Clowney, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Williams in the middle, and what's his name, Ajoko?
Yeah.
With him, that y'all would have had the best defensive line in NFL.
But see, when you only got one play, and y'all remember now, what's his name? The one,
Clowney,
not DeMarcus Lawrence, but
Williams,
no, from South Carolina,
Clowney.
Clowney. The thing about Clowney is they got him on the cheap because he on the back end of his career.
He in his 30s.
So if they would have got, because he was sitting home when Dallas called him. So if they would have done that with DeMarcus Lawrence, could you imagine that defense? We would have been in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Y'all had a little run this year. Y'all had a little run.
Our defense couldn't stop nobody because only thing they did was put their two double team Clowney,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's move on, man. What you think about the national championship game, Indiana and Miami? I thought from the door it was over.
Me personally, and the viewers know I pick Indiana to win it all from the doorstep. But Miami went on that crazy run, and contrary to popular belief, they was in that game the whole time. They would have won it if that dude didn't block that punt and scored that touchdown, because that put them behind the 8 ball where the offense didn't have to score a touchdown. You can't give up a pick six or a fumble recovery for a touchdown in a national championship game.
Mm-hmm.
But even though they did get up the touchdown, at the end of the game, they still had a chance to win. So that goes to show you how good Miami defense was playing. They basically, an offense that was averaging 50 points a game, they held them.
Yeah.
They held them, but
the game, it was just I just saw the dominance of Indiana from the start of the game. It was
you
like
know why I saw the dominance at? Not from the player's perspective. I saw the dominance from the coach's perspective. Indiana coach went for it 4th and 5 with the lead. That's total disrespect. 4th and 5, and you got the lead. Well, if you go for it 4th and 5, that means you down 20 points or something. But you go for it 4th and 5, and you got the lead. That's like, I don't care nothing about them. I'm putting it all on the line. I don't care nothing about them. In the first half, I do not like Miami offensive coordinator. He ran the ball 77% of the time.
Yeah. Did they get
How
that?
you gonna beat a team like Indiana? You keep running the ball, getting 1 yard, 3 and out.
Did Indiana get that first down on 4 and 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that
No, they went for it 4th and 5 twice. The first time they went for it, they got it. The second time in the game, they went for 4th and 5. He scored the touchdown by running the ball in.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. That should have never happened. On 4th
But
and
when
5.
a coach most people saying analytics teach you to kick the field goal. You already got the lead. It's 4th and 5. Kick the field goal. He said, "Nah, I'm gonna put him to sleep."
And you know what's so crazy? They can keep most of those players. They're gonna lose Mendoza to the draft. But if they can keep a lot of those players, man. Because his little brother is the quarterback coming after him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Those his little brother. He's on the team, and he's coming after him. So if he's anything like his older brother, they're gonna repeat. I mean, a good season. We have to go through playoffs or whatever, but they got a good chance of getting back.
If they can keep, they got the same coaching staff. So I think the next 5 to 10 years, Indiana gonna be one of the Alabamas, Ohio States. They're gonna always be in the mix.
Yeah, Penn State, not Penn State, but yeah, I got you. Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia.
Alabama, Georgia's of the world. They're gonna be in the mix. Oregon's of the world. They're gonna always be in the mix. I don't know if they're gonna keep winning it, but they're gonna be in the mix with that coach, with that mindset of we come to destroy.
Yeah, he aggressive. He don't care nothing about sportsmanship.
Yeah, he don't care about no analytics or what y'all talking about. This is what we finna do.
Actually, I like that better because analytics is just basically people doing.
They're not telling you the best thing.
Yeah, they doing statistics, and a lot of it is computer generated, and a lot of it is people, very smart people that know statistics. But old school, sometimes old school is the best way. Sometimes instead of going to ChatGPT and telling ChatGPT to write me a book on how to do whatever, versus you just sitting down, getting a pad and paper, a pen and paper, and writing the book out yourself. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes you get a better result out of just the old school way of doing things and then trying to do everything by analytics.
Yeah.
And that showed that proof right there. He said, "No, we're gonna punch him in the throat."
But to all the fans out there, You got 2 games this weekend. You got Seattle against the Rams, which is a division game,
Mm-hmm. So
which gives the Rams a leg up because they play Seattle twice a year.
mm-hmm.
Like last year, it was Philly and Washington.
Mm-hmm.
That's a division game.
Mm-hmm.
And on the AFC side, you got Harbor Denver and New England. I'm gonna give you my picks. I think it's gonna be New England, low scoring game. New England might win 17-13. To remind you, Denver still got a top 5 defense with
Mm-hmm.
Surtain and them boys.
Mm-hmm.
And on Seattle side, I think that's the best game because even though Seattle defense looked scary, the Rams play them twice a year. They know them.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't like Houston who don't know them, not Houston. It ain't like San Fran was a division game
Yeah,
for Seattle, and they got smacked. So I take that back. They still might, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you can't count out the
Matthew Stafford is a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
can't count out the wonder kid, the coach for the Rams. You can't count him.
Yeah.
You can't count him.
So
He changed that coaching hire changed the whole NFL how they hire coaches. Everybody went young after that.
yeah.
Look, everybody, Green Bay, Philly, New York, everybody went young. Miami, everybody went young after that. He changed the whole game of how you look at coaches.
And Green Bay went young, and they just gave him a contract extension.
Mm-hmm.
But my picks for this weekend: Seattle and
England.
New England in a close one.
Hey, who you put as far as players?
Players this week here: take Denver's running back carries per game over because they're gonna babysit that quarterback. They're gonna run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So take the running back over on rushing attempts. I don't know if he gonna the yards, but you know for a fact he gonna have the attempts.
Mm-hmm.
And with the other game, um, Seattle and
The Rams.
the Rams. That game, I take the kicking points.
Kicking points.
The kicking points because on both sides. Because the New England, I mean,
The Rams.
the Rams gonna come to play, but they might get stopped at the goal line and kick a field goal, and like the Chicago Rams game was 13-16. I'll go with the kicking points.
Mm-hmm.
But we got like 5 minutes left, and I got we leave sports and dive into politics. But our next show will be after the playoffs. I mean, after the Sunday game, and we can go over and see how y'all like my picks, how y'all like our predictions, and we can talk about the up and coming Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But don't forget to hit that like button, that share button, and that subscribe button. But I got a question for Chico. This is not so much politics. This is dealing with more of culture, more of music.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the R&B era is over with?
Uh, I think they're trying to make a comeback. A lot of the old artists, a lot of them are touring right now. Like you got Jodeci on tour. Uh,
No,
they, they were just at Star.
no. The reason why I said that is because yes, the older artists are going to tour because the older people like us are coming. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about the new generation, new artists. Do you think R&B is a day of the past?
Well, what's happening is um, the artists like Chris Brown and Usher is holding it up for this era. But people got to realize Chris Brown and Usher started in our era. They started in the 90s and early 2000s. That's our Chris Brown is really a Gen X millennial artist because he started in that era. You get what I'm saying? Um, so right now, Chris Brown, Usher is holding up R&B, but like I said, a lot of the older artists are touring. Like you got New Edition and Tony Braxton and Boyz II Men on tour right now. They're on tour right now. And you got SWV and Intro with they're doing a tour. Um, Fantasia, she's not really an older artist, but she started in the mid 2000s. So that was our era. You get what I'm saying?
But do you see up and coming R&B artists?
No, they don't have one. Nobody is passing the torch. You get what I'm saying? It's like this. Our parents, they had the Temptations, they had Smokey Robinson, they had the OJs, they had James Brown, they had all those artists, Aretha Franklin and Patti LaBelle.
Allman Brothers.
Yeah, Isley Brothers. They had those, and then you got to think of the funk. Kool and the Gang, Rick James, Al Green, all those artists, right? Ohio Players, the Whispers. I can go on and on. Then a generation came after them that brought some R&B. You remember, the '80s sound,
Oh
and then
yeah, the Cameo.
yeah, Cameo and all those guys, right?
Yeah,
And then in the '90s, the torch would pass to our generation. Our generation was older then, like old
the
enough to.
new editions.
Oh yeah, so you had the new additions. You had the Boys and Men, Jodeci,
Jodeci.
Portrait. You had SWV, Mary J. Blige. Um, just,
Jodeci.
yeah, Jodeci. All them guys. Guy.
Silk.
Uh, you can go on and on. How many artists? Drew Hill, 112, Total. Um, and then getting into the early 2000s, that run with Ja Rule and Ashanti and Lil Mo when they had those hits, you know what I'm saying? And then I think Tyrese, and then can't forget Keith Sweat, R. Kelly. That was our generation. But nobody in this generation, the torch wasn't passed to this generation. So that's why it's so easy for our generation to come and
Tour.
tour. Those guys are touring and they selling out arenas because no torch wasn't passed. And it's just, yeah, they got like there's one guy from Cash Money, I forgot his name. He talking about he the king of R&B. Is like, I don't agree with that. But because Usher and Chris Brown still making music. Uh and Usher and Chris Brown are the kings. They like the Kobe LeBron of this era. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this: do you think R&B is going to take a evolution to like the Justin Timberlakes of the world, the Justin Biebers of the world?
That's already happened.
Mm.
They already got. I don't think they're going to take. I think what's going to happen is because of how the population is changing in America, and so America leads music. You know, a lot of the music starts in Black America first, and then it goes out into these different. Like if you listen to country today, country music today is not what country music was in the '90s or the '70s.
Yeah, because they got like Beyonce got a country album and it's expanded.
Not just that, country music today has hip hop in it. Some country songs got rock and roll. Some is pop. You know, they might have a little of that guitar, old school country sounds in it. Cause I listen to country. I like some of the songs, but it's not like old school country. It's different. And other genres of music are the same. They got a group I was seeing on during the New Year's celebrations. It's a Asian group. It's like four girls from like I don't know where they're from, Korea, South Korea.
I've seen that.
Huh?
I've seen that. They was in Vegas.
So they're
They
gonna
performed right after 50 Cent performed.
yeah. You remember that group? They had like the Asian guys from South Korea. They were real big. It was like five of them. Excuse me. It was like five of them, and they were real popular. I mean, all the girls loved them. They crossed color lines, everything. Everybody loved them guys. And then, so I think you're gonna have that, but I really think, as far as R&B, I think what is going to happen because of the population, immigration is changing America, right? We know this.
Mm.
I read an article back in 2022, January 2022, when it came out. I read it after that, but it came out then. And it talked about how in the black community, black Americans, it was a Pew Research review. So there's a credible article that black Americans will be the minority in the black community. Let that sink in. That African and Caribbeans will be the majority in the black community. What type of music do you see rising on radio right now? Afro beats. I think Afro beats will become the new R&B. Hip hop will be around because they love the. I kind of got away from rap because I realized, and I used to be a part of that. You know, the club
So
scene.
basically, what you saying is the way the blues, BB King, the blues died off. R&B is the next in line.
R&B is going to be replaced by Southern soul, the music you see at the trail rides,
Yes.
Southern soul, and Afro beats.
Mm.
Because nobody is taking the torch. The torch wasn't passed. When, like I said, our parents' generations, their music with the Temptations and, you know, Gap Band and Isley Brothers. And then we took the torch and, you know, we New Edition and Jodeci, Keith Sweat, R. Kelly, Mary J. Blige, SWV, Escape, you know, all those groups, and we passed the torch. And then you know, Chris Brown and Usher came out of that. They started doing that area in the late '90s, so early 2000s. It stopped with them. Nobody
Mm.
generation in these Gen Zs and whatever else after that, the 20 to 35-year olds or the 15 to 35-year-old generation, they haven't picked it up. They nobody's. picking it up. So R&B is, and I think this is done on purpose too, because the record companies, I think they're gonna go with what's the larger population. Because if I notice that by 2040 the population within the black community will change. So if I'm from Africa or if I'm from Jamaica, what type of music do I want to hear? Yeah, I like Beyonce, but I want to hear Burna Boy. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I want to hear Friday. I want to hear a boy from Lagos. You know what I'm saying? And I like Afrobeat music. I got a channel on my Pandora. But I think to answer your question, that's what's gonna happen. Afrobeats and Southern Soul is gonna replace R&B.
Mm. It's a sad day, you know, because I remember when I was young in the 90s talking to the older people like my papa,
Mm-hmm.
my daddy's granddaddy was still alive. And our daddy's granddaddy was still alive, Papa.
Mm-hmm.
Papa would tell me about the blues.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized how the blues died off. You know, the BB King, and it was real big back in those days. And they thought it was gonna be here forever, and it died off. And me as a kid, I thought R&B was gonna always be here. Because you didn't just have, you know, the new additions, you had the new kids on the block. You had, I mean, R&B was it. And now, like you say, there's no torch being passed. So you got the people from our generation touring, making money because we still want to hear it. And then you got the generation after them, like the Ushers and the Chris Browns, clinging on to the ones who still in their 30s or late 20s. But the kids ain't gonna experience that R&B, that love music, that grinding music, that sweat,
Mm-hmm.
that. Oh man! But our time is up. Next week we'll be back with another political topic and talk
Yeah.
about this NFL playoffs.
And we got next
But,
week. We will see how it play out. I wanted to get into something I heard. Is reported that Lamar Jackson might go to the Raiders.
oh
Uh,
yeah, I heard a lot of gossip, but
yeah, but we'll
we'll
see.
see.
Next week we talk about it. Maybe if it's something to it, more information will come out. But we want to thank y'all who, for those that are subscribed, we truly thank you. And like I said, just continue to rock with us as we grow and you grow with us. We can do this as a family, sports family. And like I said, we talk about everything from finances, family, just politics, just everything. Music, as you can see, we just talk about everything, but mainly about sports and keeping up with that and the latest sports news. And we just thank you for checking out the channel. Remember, subscribe. I see a lot of you, watching the shorts. We're getting thousands of views on the shorts, but we're not seeing that in the subscriptions. So just subscribe, hit the subscribe button. It don't cost you a thing. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, help the algorithm put the video out. And we thank you for your support. Thank you for checking out The Great Perspective.